Young girls are often educated about menstruation by their parents and friends before their first experience. But Mma was never informed. She lost her parents when she was just 5 years old and had to live and grow up with the aunts in Lagos. Not all aunts are bad, but Mma was not lucky enough to have a caring one. While her peers were in school, she was forced to do house chores and even hawk things on the streets of Lagos. She was very lonely and had no friends. One evening, as she was finishing her daily tasks, she felt a strange cramp in her lower abdomen. Not knowing what it was, she ignored it and continued with her work. However, the discomfort grew and she soon noticed a small stain of blood on her dress. She began to panic. She had no idea what was happening to her. She couldn't remember hurting herself. Was she about to die? She had never heard of periods or menstruation. Her aunt had never talked to her about what happens to girls as they grow up. Ma felt alone and terrified. She didn't know who to turn to or what to do. She started crying and shaking in fear. Her aunt heard her and rushed into the room. When she saw the blood, she realized what was happening, and for the first time, she felt pity for Mma. "You are not dying," her aunt said gently. "This is called a period. It happens to all girls. It is normal, and it means you are growing up." Mma looked at her aunt with wide, tearful eyes. She listened as her aunt explained in simple terms what a period was and how to take care of herself during this time. It wasn't a lot of information, but it was enough to calm her down. Her aunt showed her how to use a sanitary cloth to manage the bleeding and explained that henceforth it would happen every month. Emma was relieved to know that she wasn't alone, that this was something all women experience. Now the big question is, why do women have periods or menstruation? And why is there no similar experience in men? When a young girl reaches puberty, which can be as early as 8 years or as late as 15 years, a part of her brain called the hypothalamus is informed. The hypothalamus is the part of the brain that constantly monitors and balances the body's internal environment through a process called homeostasis. When a girl reaches this age, the hypothalamus sees her as mature and ready for reproduction and releases a hormone known as GnRH, which stands for gonadotropin-releasing hormone. This hormone is transported by blood to another tissue within the brain called the pituitary gland. In response to this hormone, the pituitary gland secretes two other hormones called FSH and LH, follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. FSH and LH are transported again by blood to the lower abdomen or pelvis, where the girl's two ovaries are. Inside these ovaries, there are about 300,000 to 400,000 immature egg cells called oogonia. These egg cells were formed before she was born and were about 2 million at the time of her birth. Most of them died as she was growing up. FSH is like food to these oogonia. Every month, it stimulates one or sometimes more of these oogonia to grow into an ovum, which is a mature egg cell. Once the maturation is complete, the second hormone, LH, causes the ovum to be released from the ovary into the fallopian tube through a process called ovulation. From the fallopian tube, the ovum moves down to the womb or uterus. Something similar to this happens in the testes of men, where sperm cells are produced. But unlike women, men have an epididymis and vast difference where the sperm cells are safely stored until they are needed. The womb of a woman can only store and preserve a baby. It cannot store an ovum. So once the ovum arrives in the womb in an unfertilized state, some useful hormones like progesterone and estrogen are not produced again. So the body finds a means to get rid of the ovum. And this is exactly what gives rise to menstruation or period. So menstruation removes the unfertilized ovum from the womb. Menstruation begins at puberty and continues until menopause, except for the month when the woman is pregnant. Menopause can begin as early as 35 years or as late as 60 years. It is our duty to educate girls under your guidance about menstruation before they begin to experience it. Do not be as negligent as Mma's aunt. I also made a video on the Rhesus factor and how it can contribute to miscarriages and stillbirth. Check the first comment on this video for the link to watch it. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more good videos in future. Thank you.